Hello everyone, my name is Dan Buscombe and I am about to explain how to install and get going with my new tool doodler. Um, First of all, you're only here because you have already accessed the video from this site. In order to install this program, you need to do a couple of things. You need to download the software and you need to set up a conduit environment in order to execute the code. Okay, so the first things first. So you're here. You've managed to navigate to here. First thing we're going to do is copy this URL because we're going to clone this GitHub repository. So that can get done anywhere on your computer. You'll notice that my computer might look a little bit different to my desktop might look a bit different to yours because I'm on a Linux computer, but the same instructions would apply for a Windows or a Mac. Okay, so you've identified some place that you want to download this tool. The best, cleanest way to do that is through git clone. So you would navigate to that directory that you just made. I just made it doodler demo, and then you would issue the command git clone. I like to use dept1 and then the HTTPS version of the GitHub repository. And then you can see that it starts to do it, cloning into doodler, and you can see that it's starting to create those files there. It might take a little longer than most GitHub repositories because I've packed a bunch of data in there and a bunch of examples, so there's a fair amount to download. So you'll see that it's now receiving the objects, and there's there's something like 100 megabytes, something like that. So just as soon as it's done downloading here, then we can start to set up the conda environment. And just to preempt that, a little bit preamble here. So we're doing this part here at the moment. So the next thing we're going to do is create an environment. I went ahead and already issued these 3 commands, and that's only relevant for, well, at least the last 2 commands are only relevant for people who may have used their Anaconda distribution for a while. And then this one is always a good idea for everybody at every opportunity. Conda clean all, because Conda has a horrible tendency to store lots and lots and lots of cache files, and not only does it create a lot of unnecessary storage on your hard drives, but also it can create problems if you're installing and reinstalling software constantly, like I do. So conda clean all. But assuming you've already done that, the first thing we're going to go to here is this command here, which is going to create the conda environment that we're going to work in, and that environment is going to be called doodler. So you can see we go back to here now. We've now cloned it. It's 100% done. We can see those files in our file browser now. So we need to just cd into that directory, and that would be a similar sort of thing that you would do on a Windows PowerShell or an Anaconda prompt or anything like that, or a Mac terminal for that matter. And we issue that command. So I'm just going to do that, and then while that happens, I'm going to explain first what's inside this file, and then second what that actually does. So this file creates, it's basically a list of instructions that will create a specific conda environment that has all the Python packages that you need to run doodler and merge.py, which are the 2 Python scripts that you see in here. And there are a series of subsequent videos that will explain how to use the tool. This video is just for explaining what the tool is, and also how to get it installed on your computer. Okay, so you can see that it's going to be using Conda Forge for the most part in order to find these various packages, and then it will sort of default back to defaults channel if it can't find the images in these dependencies in Conda Forge. You'll notice that we're using Python 3.6. That is not the most recent version of Python, but it is a stable version of Python that seems to work well on both Windows, Mac and Linux generally, and it seems to play nicely, in particular with a couple of these libraries which are critical. OpenCV, which is what we use to actually do all the annotations, and raster.io, which is what we use to read and write GeoTIFF images. Other than that, these other dependencies are fairly fairly generic, and they may work with other versions of Python. But for now, I would recommend you use Python 3.6, and at least until things change. PyDentCRF, that's a tool that we're using for the purposes of implementing a conditional random field, which is a machine learning model that that this doodler software uses extensively to create dense labels. Its dependencies, Python. We use NumPy, SciPy, Matplotlib, various other things at various points in there. Okay, so that's now created that environment. We can now check those check that it actually did create that environment by doing something like conda env list, and that will show you. I've actually got a whole bunch of different conda environments on this computer. You will have, for sure, you'll have base, and now you'll have you'll probably have a whole bunch too, but you'll also have doodler now. So now I can go ahead and say conda activate doodler, and then now whatever I do subsequently, I'm in that environment and I can run my code. And basically this is where we're going to pick up in the next video. So what we did, we downloaded the software, we created a conda environment, and we activated the conda environment, and now you're basically ready to use the software, which you'll see in the next video. Alright.